Questions your legal agreement should answer. Hi, this is Josh Horn of Horn Valuation. I help owners build, value, and sell their business. Do you know what your legal agreements say? Do you have legal agreements for your business? And if so, do you know what will happen to determine value in the event that they're triggered? These are some of the things I've been thinking about lately as I've been reading through some agreements that have some problems with them. I'm not going to show any of these to you today because they're obviously confidential, but let's talk about some of the things you need to think about. First of all, you need to engage a competent attorney, someone who has done this before. I'm not an attorney. I value businesses working with the attorneys. That said, a lot of the time when things get to me, there are problems that have been created upstream. So let's talk about some of the things that you need to think about with regard to these legal agreements. First off, what are the triggering events? I talk about the 4 Ds often. And the 4 Ds, as I call them, are disability, divorce, death, and dispute. So those are the 4 I talk about, those 4 Ds. You may have more triggering events in your legal agreements. Another one I saw the other day, which you may want to think about in light of what is going on, particularly right now, is bankruptcy. A triggering event such that either the business or the business owner, if they are in bankruptcy, the business should be valued. Second, who will value the business? You need to engage somebody that has a business valuation credential, that is experienced in valuing businesses and can do it within a short timeline if necessary. If there's someone that is named that has a lot of different practice areas and it's an emergency situation, it's a dispute, it's a divorce, it may be more difficult to get that particular party or firm to value the business. So those are some of the things to keep in mind. I may know somebody who can help you. Finally, how will they value the business? Well, they'll value it according to the terms of the agreement that you structure and set up with your attorney. So the result will only be as good as what you put in the agreement. And this is extremely important. Things like the date of valuation, the standard of valuation, the premise of valuation. Now, as a general rule, I am not a fan of formulas for these agreements. Formulaic valuation approaches or handcuffing the valuation analyst such that he or she has to go down a certain path to determine value. In this particular environment, right now with COVID, that could be a disaster if one of your triggering events occurs, because the business could be in an extreme up cycle or a down cycle, which may not be necessarily representative of value over the long term. So you need to be very careful with formulas and rules of thumb. I've discussed the dangers of rules of thumb repeatedly on my blog. A few parting thoughts on this. What I see often out there in the marketplace are there are attorneys that are business attorneys that draft a lot of these agreements. They may or may not be involved in a lot of litigation. So what you need to keep in mind is that you may also want to get the input from an attorney that has been in the trenches and seen things go wrong. They may not always be the best person to draft the agreement, but their input could be very valuable, particularly in light of the state you're in, which is something I would really encourage you to pay a lot of attention to. The agreement needs to be in compliance with state law and federal law if applicable, ideally both. Keep in mind, in a litigation environment, unfortunately, if your business is in some kind of a dispute, it will be handled in a state court. You do not want language that conflicts with state law. These are some of the things that your legal agreement should answer, and make sure you keep these agreements updated and you know what's in them right now, because your circumstances could change. This is Josh Horn, CPA of Horn Valuation. Have a great day. Bye.